Welcome to our function here this evening, the National Cooperative Credit Union's launch of this Cadence Lypso Inc. show for 2019. Let me welcome all of you here this evening in Radio Land, wherever you are listening to us. And as we get ready to start, let's all stand so we could resume. We could start with the Credit Union prayer at the back of your leaflet. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. And where there is sadness, joy. O divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to console as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. Thank you very much. You take a seat. It's so nice to be back here yet again for another NCCU Cadence Lypso competition this year. Let me acknowledge the presence of the CEO of the National Cooperative Credit Union, Mr. Elmer Irish, Mr. Cecil Joseph, the manager of DBS Radio, Chief Cultural Officer, Mr. Raymond Lawrence. We have Mr. Roland Boye, the PS for the Ministry of Tourism and Culture. Of course, we also have a representative from the Board of Directors, Dr. Damian Dublin. I think I said somewhere in the corner. Yes, good. We also have other representatives from the committee. I can see Mr. McDowell Paul. Welcome. Of course, the participants, those of you listening in Radio Land, we have also members of the various committees. We want to say special welcome to you. Welcome here this evening, and of course, Mr. Dexter Ducree, who is chairperson of these various committees. We want to say special welcome to you, and we're glad that you are here this evening. And as I move forward, we have remarks from Dr. Damian Dublin, a member of the Board of Directors. Dr. Dublin.
Thank you, Kalai. Good evening, everybody. I'll just follow up from all the names he mentioned, and I'm going to repeat it. I just want to welcome everybody on behalf of the Board of Directors, and all the committees, Supervisory and Compliance, Credit Committee, all the members and staff of the NCCU. Especially want to greet you on behalf of all our branches. We have branches all over. We just renovated and reopened one in our place, so everybody all feeling happy. NCCU, as we say, is one big family. We are here again for Cadence Lypso. This activity was taken on by the NCCU when you recognize that the importance of Cadence Lypso and the fact that it was going through a little, slow phase. So the NCCU, for its corporate responsibility, decided to take on that particular project. So in essence, that is our contribution to Dominica, that is our contribution to the art form in the form of taking the Cadence Lypso and bringing it to a level. Those of us who have been following over the years would have to admit that this initiative has been successful, and we're here right now to continue this one. This year is going to be nicer. Mr. Luke will give you all the details. It's going to be different, and every year we try to make it better and better and bring it to a different level. We really want to welcome everybody and thank all those who have participated over the years. There are some who are here and some who are not here. We want to welcome the new ones who are participating for the first time. We know you're going to enjoy. It's good to know that the the big one who have been winning all these years today, taking a break, so I get everybody right feeling more confident. but it's tremendous time when you recognize it. Honestly, the kind of talent that we have seen come through over the years. What we really would like is that at some point in time, it could be in collaboration with NCCU and the tourism division or DDA to get this talent to another level. I've seen tremendous potential, and sometimes some of this potential, some of these songs just do not reach the level that we know they can reach. So we're hoping that with this initiative by NCCU and also other corporate organizations that we can take this to the level that we want it to be. So just want to welcome everybody here. Special welcome to EmoNews, who always have things covered, and everybody who are here. So we know tonight it's going to be a beautiful night, and we are sure this show is going to be a big one. So we're asking everybody here to be like ambassadors for the show. Invite your friends, invite your family, invite people you know coming for the festival, so they can all come and enjoy with us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Dudley, true ambassador for the art form and for Dominica. I see on my program the brief remarks from Mrs. Kathleen John Jules, Product Development Manager, Discover Dominica Authority. I'm not seeing her here this evening, but we've got to move on, and so we've got brief remarks from Chief Cultural Officer Raymond Lawrence. Mr. Raymond Lawrence.
Thank you very much, Mr. Master of Ceremonies. Let me recognize the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism and Culture, Mr. Roland Royer, the CEO of the NCCU, Mr. Aylmer Irish, and staff of the National Cooperative Credit Union, Chairman, members of the Board of Directors of the NCCU, sponsors and their representatives, the finalists in the competition this year, the media representatives. Good evening to all. Let me start off by congratulating the finalists who made it to the grand final of the NCCU Cadence Lypso competition scheduled for Saturday, November the 2nd, as part of our independence celebrations. I congratulate the participants on your selection, because I think this is a major achievement for all of you, and I wish you success at the competition on the 2nd of November. I also congratulate the NCCU for promoting yet again another edition of the popular Cadence Lypso competition, a competition which promotes creativity in musical composition and performance, and which also promotes a very integral and important genre of Dominican music, which is Cadence Lypso, a music which many of us have grown up with in Dominica and which is now being enjoyed and appreciated by the younger generation. So much so that there are quite a few young persons participating in the Cadence Lypso competition, giving that brand of music a new kind of energy in terms of what is being offered now to the general public and to persons beyond our shores. The Cadence Lypso competition also promotes the Creole language, which is a very integral part of our culture in Dominica. And I know some songs have been sung in English, but I would say the majority of the songs have been performed in our Creole language. As you know, that's a very important part of our culture. I'm happy to announce this evening as well that with the collaboration of the Ministry of Education, we have just launched a pilot project in 19 primary schools in Dominica to teach our Creole language. So there are periods in any country when you take the time to promote what is your own and what is homegrown and organic. Of course, we appreciate what the world has to offer. We appreciate what all the other Caribbean islands have to offer because we are part of the region, we're Caribbean people. But there are also times when you want to focus as well on what Dominica has to offer to the world and what contributions we can make to the growth and development of Caribbean music and world music. But each country is developing for itself its own products. We too have to be mindful of the fact that we have to develop and support and invest in our products and our people. The Cadence Lypso, I think, the competition is one such event, one such avenue and platform for the exposure and showcasing of some of what Dominica has to offer to the world. And you know, these events are very important because they help our local artists to grow and shine. And these events give our artists a wonderful opportunity to present their musical talents and abilities on stage and to the public and give stronger expression to our music and our culture. Dominica has produced so many shining examples of excellence in music and so many bands which have contributed so much to the promotion of music created by Dominicans, such as Cadence and Bouillon, and I see Ra here as well, and our folk music as well, which still continues to thrill and inspire us. Our World Creole Music Festival is another major success story. That festival has promoted artists from other countries, yes, but it has also helped to bring even greater recognition and spotlight to our own Dominican artists, and this is really commendable. This year, Dominica celebrates 41 years of independence. We're also going to experience the 21st World Creole Music Festival and the 7th Cadence Lypso competition, all major achievements in their own right. Our music and culture continue to impress all those who hear it and experience it. And at this 41st independence anniversary, we need to recommit ourselves to nurturing our efforts and providing support to our artists and musicians. And we need to encourage and applaud members of the private sector like the NCCU for continuing to invest and give support to Dominica's arts and culture. Of course, the government needs to play its part. However, the private sector as well can also play a great role in giving much needed support to our arts and culture. And the NCCU's Cadence Lypso competition is a great example of this private sector initiative and investment in the building and strengthening of our cultural expressions. So on behalf of the Cultural Division and the National Cultural Council, I extend well-deserved congratulations to the NCCU on your ongoing efforts at helping to sustain and promote our music in Dominica, especially Cadence Lypso music. I wish both organizers and participants a very successful event, and may your Cadence Lypso event keep growing from strength to strength. Enjoy the rest of the evening, and happy independence to all. God bless.
Thank you very much, Chief Cultural Officer Raymond Lawrence. We now have brief remarks from Mr. Roland Rowe, who is the PS of the Ministry of Tourism and Culture. Mr. Rowe.
Thank you, Master Ceremony. This is acting the president of the CEO of the NCCU, Mr. Irish, board members of members of the board of directors of the NCCU, Mr. Raymond Lawrence, Chief Cultural Officer, organizers of the event, staff of NCCU, invited guests, media, good evening. First, I need to apologize for the absence of my minister, Mr. Tom, who was supposed to be here, but it's also in business, so I'm here representing it. However, I'm extremely pleased on behalf of the Ministry of Tourism and Culture to address this evening official opening ceremony for the 2019 NCCU Cadence Lypso competition. The Ministry welcomes another edition of the NCCU Cadence Lypso competition as another key feature of our National Independence Celebration for 2019. We are all aware of the tremendous impact that the competition has had in helping to breathe new life into an art form which has been going through a period of decline and trying to maintain its position as a major music as a major music genre among the creative music idioms. Your efforts are not only helping build awareness of the important contribution made by the finalists, but due by the organization of this competition over the past 7 years have certainly encouraged and inspired a new generation of performers, songwriters, music producers to take action in creating a new kind of Lypso song and bringing new recognition and visibility to the art form. This is clearly evidenced in the high quality of material we are exposed to each and every year, and by the spirited and high level of competition we witness for every edition of the competition. Your competition has been able to rejuvenate the careers of many veteran artists like Hollywood and created new galaxy superstars like the Web and the man of the moment, of course, White Fairy, our fourth winner of the competition since 2014. We therefore feel deeply honored and privileged to be part of this evening's ceremony. Certainly, we are indeed fortunate to have the organizational skills and the full commitment of the NCCU, a leading Dominican company, to sponsor and execute this amazing event for the past 7 years. By bringing together the vast array of talented artists, event planners, musicians, and volunteers, you have been truly able to showcase this uniquely Dominican art form and music culture. We would like to use this occasion to salute the NCCU for its sponsorship and support to the event over these many years. We would also like to salute the production team for its effective planning and high quality work in organizing and executing this very important event. The Cadence Lypso show is growing in popularity and acceptance and has become a major fixture on the Independence calendar. It is one of the most anticipated post-World Queer Music Festival events, and some even consider it as the fourth day of the World Queer Music Festival. As the 15 artists await their time in the spotlight on Saturday, November 2nd, 2019, to unleash their musical magic on the patrons and music fans, we look forward to another wonderful edition of the NCCU Cadence Lypso competition. We encourage all Dominicans, returning national and visitors, in this our 41st anniversary of independence, to come out in a large number to support the event and to celebrate this indigenous music form given to us almost 50 years ago by Gordon Henderson, Exile One, and made popular by so many Dominican bands and versatile and talented performers. The ministry wants to wish you every success and hope for a most memorable 7th edition of the NCCU Cadence Lypso Festival. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rui. My task is getting even easier tonight. Lovely comments thus far. And next we have Mr. Dexter Dupree, who is chairperson of the committee, to give his remarks. Mr. Dupree.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Can you hear me? It gives me great pleasure to recognize, first and foremost, Dr. Dobbin, who is representing the President, Mr. Raymond Lawrence, Chief Cultural Officer, Mr. Roland Rui, Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Tourism and Culture, Mr. Emma Irish, CEO at NCCU, Marcel Harrigan, Assistant Coordinator, Mr. Drell, who is the Marketing Officer for both NCCU and NCCU Cadence Lypso Inc., Ms. Matthew, Legal Advisor, Ms. Claudette Toussaint, Secretary, Mr. Kalai John Baptist, the board member of NCCU Cadence Lypso Inc., the media, competitors,
some you see members of the credit committee here, also members of the supervisory committee. I want to thank you for coming. And other invited guests. And also, of course, the last but not least, where we have our gentleman from Leslie Law. Is Marcel or Marcel, that's correct, Marcel Leslie Law. So we're going to have a great show. Welcome to the launching of NCCU 7th Lypso musical competition. This competition is a display of Caribbean musical patterns fused into a unique style that can truly call our own. Over the years, the show has been inspiring, yet a challenging experience for the community. As we move from one year to the other, we strive to reduce our cost of operation so as to ensure the viability of the show. In addition, we have juggled with the date of the show in order to maximize the return to our sponsors, but more specifically, to gratify local and overseas patrons. The committee is now convinced that the most appropriate date for the show is November 2nd of each year. The feedback we received from the satisfied patrons is overwhelming. This gives us the impetus to manage the demanding schedule that the show requires. It is critically important to note that the Cadence committee is a voluntary one. This means that the committee serves without a monthly or weekly compensation. Therefore, I want to enormously thank the members of the committee for the hard work and unwavering support. I'm excited to share with you that the committee vision is to ensure that the Cadence Lypso lives on. With this in mind, NCCU Cadence Committee will be staging the Grand Cadence Lypso competition on the 2nd of November in the forecourt at the Windsor Park Stadium. I want to pause for some minutes to share with you the history of the Cadence music as I know it. Cadence music is Dominica's own. It appeared on the musical landscape in 1973 to 74. This musical phenomenon was created by the son of the soil, musical genius Gordon Henderson and the Exile One Band. By the end of the 1970s, the music evolved to such extent that Gordon Henderson defined the Cadence Lypso as a synthesis of Caribbean and African musical patterns that fuses the tradition with the contemporary. Later, there was an explosion of Cadence music as other Dominican bands were formed like Bramax, Midnight Groovers, Black Roots, Naked Feet, Bells Combo, Black Affairs, Liquid Eyes, and the list goes on. The grand final of the NCCU 2019 Cadence Lypso show will take place with a new twist this year. The show will host 15 finalists. This is an increase of 4 artists from last year. We want to ensure that we expose as many artists as possible. The backup band will be the renowned First 70 band of Point Michel. The First 70 band is a very experienced band, and we are sure that they will showcase an amazing performance. The second half of the show will be different from last year. Last year we had a band competition. This year we're hosting a veteran Cadence band from Guadeloupe in the name of Les Aigles. Les Aigles is a Guadeloupean Cadence band of the 1970s. They were heavily influenced by the Haitian music that overwhelmed the Caribbean islands and beyond, from the late 50s to the early 80s. The Cadence, the Exile One band, was the first to introduce the full horn section and synthesizer in a Cadence band to the music. Other young Cadence and compa bands from Haiti and the French Antilles emulated them. Les Aigles took that style to another level after creating Kuzla, a style that featured the full horn section and synthesizers. The band broke up quietly after the album Born Live The group United then released several hits. A member of the group is here with us to confirm their appearance at the show. The price of the tickets has not changed. It will be maintained at $60 in advance and $70 at the gates. The price for the VIP stand is only $150. And anyone who's been to a show knows that we have the best VIP. Fully loaded behind. I want to express my thanks to all the sponsors who have supported us over the years. In addition, I want to communicate a special thanks to the board of directors of NCCU. The show could not have existed without the input and irreplaceable financial support. This is our country's first independence anniversary. We're asking all Dominicans to come out to support NCCU and Cadence. Show your support, Dominica, for what is truly yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dupree. Of course, I did not want to steal his thunder to tell you what he was going to say. And you heard it yourself, that this year we will not be having the band segment, but of course we'll be having a band, an experienced band from the French island, who will be giving us some good vibes. And I'm pretty sure that when he comes up to say a few words, he will give you a taste of what is to come. We now have the presentation of partners, the 2019 Cadence Lypso show, and we're going to get some brief remarks from those present. I will first call on the representative of the National Cooperative Credit Union Limited to give us some brief remarks.
Thank you very much, Mr. Master of Ceremony, Mr. Louis, Permanent Secretary, Mr. Lawrence, Cultural Officer, members of the head table, other members of the board of directors, participants, ladies and gentlemen. Without NCCU, there is no Cadence Lypso show. As a credit union, we have a social responsibility. We believe in community development. We believe in people's development. And if you recall our mission, we did not say for the members, but we said for all. And therefore, we take pride in ensuring that this show is alive and goes on. Again, on behalf of the board of directors, committee members, management and staff, it is again the pleasure of the NCCU to sponsor or to be the main sponsor of this Cadence competition this year. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Irish. And I see also in the audience, as he does for the past few years, Mr. Cecil Joseph, who is the general manager of DBS Radio, who has always been with us from day one. Mr. Cecil Joseph, we invite him to make a few brief remarks. Mr. Joseph.
Good evening, everyone. Bonsoir. Bonsoir. I didn't come here to speak boring to people. Cadence has never been a boring thing, so let us not make it a boring thing. Let us sit down at the biggest of officials. Alright? Cadence was for the ordinary man, the ordinary guy's son, so I say good night again to you. Good night. Alright? Protocol has already been established. I first want to compliment the Ministry of Culture. I heard Mr. Raymond Lawrence did mention of some 19 primary schools will be taught this year the Creole language, and I heard a little applause. We have been talking about that for many, many years, and it is here now in Dominica. When things are going good, let us say it is good, let's put our hands together for the ministry. I mean, that's what we did because we have been asking for it. That's a sign of good things for the future of the Cadence Lypso. And I would maybe want to extend by saying, maybe to the Cultural Division in partnership with the NCCU, to maybe have a Cadence Lypso competition for those young ones at the primary school. So when we reach that stage, we would have problems with the future. I'd just like to make that recommendation. I want to say that Cadence has made quite a number of people, and these people, as we know, Gordon Henderson, Jeff Joe, Ophelia, Janet Azuz, Michael, and a great number of them. And today, their names, when we speak of Dominican culture, the Cadence, you must mention these people's name. Now, I want to thank the NCCU for establishing for a number of years a new brand of names for the future, for now and for the future. Because many a times we don't see our children grow. When someone says that your child has grown, we don't say, oh yes. So I want to differ a little bit from the PS to say that the Cadence Lypso genre of music has grown. It is not dead, it is not lost. And so, words cannot be enough to say to the organizers of the NCCU a big thank you to ensure that our music, our own, is alive. Last year I made the point that we need to now see how best we can marry both Cadence and that of Bunyo, our own, to make it something grand for the world. Don't wait when another marshal from Trinidad takes it and manage it for us and for us to say it's our own. Let us start it first. So I want to say that I'm happy that DBS Radio, the nation station, who has started all of these things. Raymond Lawrence can tell you, in the good old days, when DBS played those music, the Guanja of Roseau would say, "Qui cante music so casual to DBS now? What kind of music you play on DBS Radio?" Because it was considered to be the low class thing. I'm different from other people here. I just want to speak what I believe. And it was a low class thing to many people. So I want to be on record to say thank you to Dennis Joseph, who saw something different from many other persons. And even if he felt at the time that he was in the minority, today the Cadence Lypso and the Creole language is so alive for what vision that Dennis Joseph had for Dominica. And I think we need to put our hands together for that. And so DBS Radio, the nation station, the radio station which I manage, I am proud at this time to know and to be part of with an institution that wants to continue walking the walk with the Cadence. And so NCCU, I want to say that you are strong. I want to say that you are steadfast. I want to say that you secure us. And I want to say that you have made us stable with the Cadence Lypso. And so, once Cecil Joseph remains the manager of DBS Radio, we will always be part of our culture. We will always be part of the Cadence Lypso. So don't think of sending to me papers and letters to think and wonder if I will be. Just so from the time you write and say DBS, you know that's a sure sponsor. Let's hold strong and let God sponsor the
Thank you very much, Mr. Joseph. I only wish that we would have other sure sponsors as we continue in this venture. But like I always say, those who have ears, let them hear. We now want to invite Mr. Brahim, the signman, who also has been on board with us for the past few years, to give some brief remarks. Mr. Brahim, we know his heart is with Cadence. Mr. Brahim.
Thank you very much, Mr. Master of the ceremony. Good evening to everybody. First of all, let me thank NCCU for affording us, when I say us, me and my boss, the signman, the very gracious opportunity to be once again be part of this most lovable show, Cadence Music. They have kept it alive, and as much as we can do to work with them, we shall keep on doing it. As little as we can give to as much as we can give. It might be low, it might be high, it can be in between. But I just want to say thank you very much. The sad thing about it from this year is that I shall miss my first show. My boss told me I have to travel in business. But rest assured, someone will be there to represent the business as always. And I want to encourage NCCU and its partners to keep on doing what they're doing, because I think Cadence Music has a very big part to play in the lives of Dominicans in terms of Dominica's culture, because it is one that is envied around the world. I mean, if you can see other nations taking our music and making big strides with it, we have to ask ourselves, why can't we do it ourselves? But I mean, that the artists can do it on their own, so all the help that they can get, we have to give it to them. I heard Cecil talk about the Booyah music. It's also part of us. So yes, maybe one day we might have a Cadence versus Booyah competition, you never know. It all depends on what the masses want, and we try our best, But for me, I'm not just only a sponsor, as Carla said. Cadence music is something that I grew up in. I have my collection. It's a very valuable. Up to today, I was talking to Dion, he was talking to me, and this guy from Australia, he introduced him to me because he was looking for music to take. And he was of the impression that my records were for sale. I said, hell no. That's not something I cannot put a value to. Because when I asked him, well, what do you think you could pay me? He was lost for words. Because these are valuable things that can 30, 40, 50, many years down the line, we have to look back and appreciate. All right, and so once again, on behalf of the members and staff of the Design Unlimited, thank you to NCCU for bringing us on board again. And as long as I'm in charge of my business still, I will forever support the Cadence Lypso show. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Burim. As I present our many partners, like he said, National Public Credit Union, Fine Foods Inc., AC Shilling Foreign Company, Dominica Brewer and Beverages Limited, New India Assurance Company, Dominica Broadcasting Corporation, Adams Sound and Light, Ticket Pal, Kyrie FM Radio, Q95 FM Radio, Vibes Radio, Pertles Pizza, The Signman, and Deepex Color Lab, and of course the First Serenade Band. We're now going to have some very, very brief remarks from the individual who's representing the Lazy Girl Band, who will be with us. Some brief remarks from him this evening.
Yeah, good night everybody. Well, it seems like that will be a Cadence Lypso Creole competition. My parents didn't teach me to speak English, so I can't parler Creole. Vous comprenez Creole? Vous comprenez Creole bien? Eh bien, since after David, 79, my parents take me abroad. Take me to Guadeloupe, and I get to know this band they call Les Aigrons. So it's about 20 years I'm in this band, and we're swinging all about Europe, Africa, and Les Aigrons is a band. We strictly play Cadence Rampa, what they call Cadence Rampa, what is familiar to Cadence Lypso. That is the same family. So I'm proud to be there to represent this band as a Dominican, doing good abroad, fighting for Cadence Lypso. Thank you everybody, have a good night, and I will be there to put fire in the show.
Did you hear that? So those of you at home and you're contemplating, don't miss that opportunity. He will be there a Dominican to put fire, more fire. We now have the presentation of our finalists. We have Marissa Stedman, we have Desmond Lulu Lawrence, Jude J.D. Deloney, Charles Litham, Shirley Charles, Webster Marie, Jude Dorset, Jackson Ely, Delma Daniel, Richard Christmas, Steve Williams, John Mack, Chris Sylvester, Joel Brown, and Nathaniel Durand. Those are our 15 finalists for the night of November 1. And so we now will proceed to have the signing of the contracts. Yes, Mr. Harrigan? Yes. Right. So I'll tell you how it's going to be done. Unfortunately, we don't have everybody here. I think that Mr. Jude Deloney is homesick. We don't have everybody here, but those who are here present, when I call you, you come up, sign your contract, and then you dip. So we will have the dipping process taking form right now. So Mr. Irish, you will come up to sign as a witness. The first person will be Marissa Stedman. And of course, if you look across there, you will see Marissa. And of course, the song is being played. Did I see number 13? Number 13, Marissa Stedman. Desmond Lulu Lawrence. Just to remind you that we are live here at the National Cooperative Credit Union. The formal presentation of the partners and of course the finalists of the 2019 Cadence Lypso competition, NCCU Cadence Lypso competition here in Dominica. And right now we are having the signing of the contracts by the 15 participants, and they will also be doing their dipping here this evening. We are very happy that you are able to join us from the EBS radio and of course from Kyrie FM. So wherever you are, and of course EmoNews, who's live with us, we're going to say thank you very much for joining us here this evening at the offices of the National Cooperative Credit Union in downtown Roseau. We're now going to have the dipping of Mr. Desmond Lawrence. What number? 15. Number 15. Desmond Lawrence, number 15. I don't think we have Jude Deloney. Do we have a representative for Jude? Yes, we have a representative who will be dipping on behalf of Jude Deloney, who is absent sick. Number 6. Jude Deloney will be coming in at number 6. Charles Litham. Which will be followed by Shirley Charles. Will now go to the box, the platinum box, to do his dipping. Let's see what number he's going to come up with. Yes. What number is it? Number 5. Charles Litham at number 5, Shirley Charles, followed by Webster Marie, or his representative. Carefully. She wants number 1, I suspect. Number 9, Shirley Charles. Webster Marie, or his representative. Okay. Jude Dorset. Followed by Jackson Ely.
Thank you guys for joining me. We are live at the NCCU for the NCCU Cadence Lypso launch 2019.
Mr. Dorset is putting his style, affixing signature. Witnessed by Mr. Irish and Mr. Pickwick.
The Cadence Lypso show will be held on November 2nd, 2019.
He's now going to do his dipping. Let's see what he pulls up. Very meticulous. What number? Number 4. Jude Dorset coming in at number 4. Jackson Ely. Followed by Delma Daniel and Richard Christmas. Come across. Taken. Number 11. Jackson Ely, 11. Delma Daniel. Sleeping now. Number 3. Delma Daniel at number 3. Richard Christmas. Stand by Steve Williams, John Mack, Chris Sylvester, Joel Brown, and Nathaniel Durand. Number 2, Richard Christmas, number 2, Steve Williams. He loves number 1. Number 12, Steve Williams, number 12. John Mack. Stand by Chris Sylvester, Joel Brown, and Nathaniel Durand. Number 7, Chris Sylvester.
NCCU Cadence Lypso show. 15 of our finalist talent, 15 artists competing in the Windsor Park Stadium for Saturday, November 2nd, at the end. Yes, guys. Yes, you know what you. And the winner is. All NCCU Cadence Lypso competition, Windsor Park Focus, Saturday, November 2nd, 8:30 p.m. You want something big? This is it. For something big, the NCCU Cadence Lypso show. 15 of our finest talent, 15 artists competing in Windsor Park Stadium for Saturday, November 2nd from 8:30 p.m. Yes, guys. Yes, we know what you. $60 in advance.
Keep it now. Have plenty here. 14. 1/4. Teenager. Joel Brown. Number one. Joel Brown, number one. Nathaniel Durand. So there's a final number in the box, which will be number 8. So it means that Webster Marie will come in at number 8. So the lineup reads as follows. Number 1, Joel Brown. Number 2, Richard Christmas. Number 3, Delma Daniel. At 4, Jude Dorset. At 5, Charles Litham. 6, Jude Deloney. At number 7, John Mack. At number 8, Webster Marie. 9, Shirley Charles. At number 10, Nathaniel Durand. 11, Jackson Ely. At number 12, Steve Williams. 13, Marissa Stedman. At number 14, Chris Sylvester. And closing the show in that segment at number 15, Desmond Lawrence. Let's give them a round of applause, please. So that will be our lineup. And of course, we've already had a presentation from our guest band. And so we're now going to have a vote of thanks from Shirley Charles. Shirley Charles, lady yes.
Thank you very much. A pleasant good evening to everyone again. As we carry on the mission for another year, our gratitude goes up to the Almighty Father for life, health, strength to carry on the Cadence mission, To NCCU Inc., we say thanks for being steadfast and for providing an avenue for artists interested in this music genre so that they can present their creativity and a special appeal to the Dominican public and the world at large. To the participants, thank you for making this show be of the quality and high standard that it is and it has maintained for the past couple of years. To the partners of the NCCU Inc., our words of gratitude are not enough to express our appreciation of your contribution to this show. Without you, the show could not be possible. This beautiful ceremony could not have been so intriguing without the remarks of Dr. Damian Dublin, who is a member of the Board of Directors, Mr. Raymond Lawrence, who is our Chief Cultural Officer, the man with the special voice, I always say, unmistakable. Remarks by Mr. Roland Roy, who is the Permanent Secretary of Ministry of Tourism and Culture, also Mr. Dexter Ducre, who is the coordinator of the NCCU Cadence Lypso Inc. We also thank the representatives of the partners here who gave their brief remarks. We feel so overjoyed to have you on board with us. Our Master of Ceremony, Mr. Callaghan Baptist, under whose guidance our program has maintained interest to all the fans, listeners, supporters, the media houses here, EmoNews, the Chronicle, the Sun, Flow TV, also known as Mapping, we have Kyrie FM Radio, Dominican Broadcasting Corporation. We want to thank you for being here and for supporting us. To everyone else here, thanks once again for being part of such an enthusiastic but attentive audience. I wish you a good night. Thank you again.
Thank you very much, Shirley Charles. And now we are going to have the signing ceremony from our band, who will be our guest artists. Now invite them to do the signing. Signing of the contract, that is.
For joining EmoNews live at the NCCU in Roseville for the launch of the NCCU Cadence Lypso Show 2019. The show will be held on November 2nd at the Windsor Park Stadium, Foucault. As always, this broadcast is compliments of Flo Dominica, my service provider of choice. You are witnessing the signing of the Guadeloupe Creole band that will be playing on the night of Cadence Lypso. It should also be noted that he is from the village of Pebouche. That's where I came from.
Because we just having the formalities here. Ukraine, Mr. Master, after signing the contract for our band. And so once again, we want to thank our partners for the 2019 Cadence Lypso Show Inc., National Cooperative Credit Union, Fine Foods Inc., AC Shilling and Company Limited, Dominica Brewery and Beverages Limited, New India Assurance Company, Dominica Broadcasting Corporation, Adam Sons, Ticket Pal, Deepex Scholar Lab, The Signman, Earthy's Pizza, Vibes Radio, Kyrie FM, and Q95 First Saturday, and all those who made it possible. Remember the show November 2nd, and of course the government of Dominica. I want to say thank you very much for partnering with us. So that takes us to the end here of the proceedings. We want to thank you for listening to us in Radio Land. And don't forget, we will also be having some specials, ticket specials, right, Mr. Ukraine too? Yes. So stay tuned for the announcement. We will be having some specials, as we always do every year, on our tickets that will be very soon going on sale. Thanks once again for joining us here this evening. And from all of us here, we want to say thank you very much. Good night. We have some refreshments. Please join us, and we'll be doing a group picture with the 15 participants. Well, of course, we do not have Jude Deloney with us, but those who are present will be doing a group photo with them. Thank you. Yeah.